So, we in a rehearsal room recorded a demo with the band without a click track, which is this thing. Which sounds beautiful, obviously.
Okay.
Then with that, we take this badger, or I take this badger, more to the point, and I build a tempo map. And actually, this isn't got the tempo. I'll show you. Well, first of all, I don't adjust the track at all. I just build a click track that fits what we play.
So what we're playing live. So it's changing the entire time.
Oh, for example, I can see we played the first verse faster than the second verse for some reason.
Okay.
And that we start to speed up towards the end of the song a bit, and then there's a little slow down at the end there. So from that, and we've all got the meter changes as well. From that, then in discussion with Ben, especially on drums, I can then take that and stretch it and manipulate it to get the tempo we actually want, because possibly we weren't actually happy with that tempo in certain sections. So in fact, for Cranefly in the end, I flattened it out a hell of a lot. So using polyphonic stretching algorithms, I make that now in time. But by fucking with the tempo grid, I can then make this the demo reflect those changes in tempo. Cranefly, we decided it just sounds quite good, really consistent actually,
right.
apart from for one or two little breakdown bits. Whereas Giraffes, that's after tweaking, so it was more ridiculous before, and then I've tidied it up to make it a bit more sensible. So for example,
there's nothing sensible about this.
Yeah, and it varies quite a lot. So actually, Giraffes starts at 89 beats per minute, and then the section 10 minutes later near the end is 102 beats per minute.
Okay.
So this feels quite slow. This is as we did in the practice room, which is quite slow. And that speeds up.
Okay, of course the context of this, because I don't know if it's kind of clear, is so that then we've got clicks that Ben can play along to. Yeah. So we've got the best of both worlds. We've got something which is kind of consistent as far as its tempo is concerned, but it still feels natural. So then we'll be recording drums to that click, and then we'll actually go in and record all the instruments properly over the top, but based on these demos that have been created in the first place.
The reason for doing it is because originally the demo of Giraffes, say, was to one tempo, or possibly two tempos or something. But then when we played it live, organically you push and pull certain sections.
Yeah, and you want to keep that.
You want to keep some of that, because some of that is actually good feel stuff. Some of it is just us not being as tight as we want to be as a band. Yeah. So then what I'm doing in a way is chopping out the bits we think aren't as tight as we'd like to be as a band in a way. So I'm trying to make it so that the click as perfect as possible. I've laid my keys on top. Fitting this click track, and then Sam's done his bass as well. And then Woody's about to do some guitar and some vocals. Ben can play along just on his own in the studio, and then we can really focus on him playing. Because on past albums, we've all been together playing in the studio, which for the music we're doing is actually was a massive pain in the arse. The last few albums.
Was it? I hadn't noticed perfectly. Yeah,
it was a big.
I just found it all a very easy kind of comfortable process.
We got there, but it was tough. Yes. Yeah. Well, the thing is, in the previous albums, what we did is it's more like we just record live every take, which would all therefore be different tempos, and we might do one take that had a great verse and rubbish chorus, and one take that had a good chorus and rubbish verse, whatever. But they might not fit together very well because there might be different tempos, but we'd be lumbered with it because we just happen to do. And that, though it's nice to feel like you're playing live in the studio, actually, what you're left with is a bit of a substandard result in some cases. I think we always got, we got around it, but only by virtue of sort of clever editing and stuff that's actually
a huge amount of effort that you've got to then put in after the fact. So a moderate amount of effort to start off with means that we kind of get around that process
every
later
take
on.
Is the same selection of tempos.
Right, great.
so the tempo map is always the same for every take.
Yeah, so for editing purposes that makes life, you can do a lot more with what you've got without having to...
Yeah, and to be clear, you can always do a lot, you can do most stuff. In the end, it's just it takes a lot longer if you do everything at a different tempo. And the classic example of that is Les Mis, where we did everything at a different tempo, and it was a lot of work.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So that's almost how we did the last two albums, was in the sort of Les Mis type way, where you just go on the equivalent of on set is in the studio and you just record